Hello again there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to my show, The Light. I'm Jake, and today we're going to talk about the crypto crash and what's going on. I'm also going to be featuring Algorand, which is a very interesting project, one I think everyone should have an eye on, especially because it is the green blockchain. And so there's a lot that's going on, as well as a big New York Times Square advertisement stunt that Algorand pulled. But let's take a look here at some Elon Musk moves. Yeah, well, in the news, of course, Twitter's legal team is saying that he violated an NDA, yada yada. Elon Musk says Twitter is manipulating users with bots and fake accounts, and that's really what it's all about. Elon Musk is, basically calling everything on hold because of a fake account issue. Twitter saying that he violated an NDA because he exposed and talked about that there's a ton of bots being used to manipulate the Twitter network. But already we're seeing a lot of the downstream results of this, as it might make Twitter more free speech friendly and more crypto friendly as well. Analysts like Jonathan Morgan at FX Street are talking about why it might be a good time to, you know, invest in Algorand, since it's dropped nearly 55% this week alone. And it's a big project up and coming, even backed by Anthony Scaramucci, that guy. Ethereum in danger of 25% crash. And, Ethereum already has been bouncing back since this was written, but there's been a big crash in pretty much everything. I mean, you can see the price here of Ethereum really 15% down. At one point that probably was like a 25% crash. Today, of course, since that was being written, it's been on a pretty significant upward trend. Looks like it's starting to, test that 2100 there. Of course, we can talk about the Terra fiasco, the crypto crash, all of that. That's, crazy stuff that's going on there. And I'm just going to say that I think that project is ridiculous. People might as well have had lizard person minted BlackRock backed Federal Reserve fiat instead of this algorithmic stablecoin that's now worth like 20 cents on the dollar. I mean, it failed project. And there's a lot of really interesting things going on there, though, as you can see that, BlackRock and Citadel deny trading cratering stablecoin, even though there's a lot of evidence in the public square because it's on the blockchain saying, hey, you guys actually collapsed it. And it's really the big boys just dunking on Quan. Do Kwan's project getting destroyed, in the USDC, which BlackRock was backing with this $400 million funding round. With Circle and all of this, they're gonna take over that market. And USD Tether got depegged, but it's been pretty strong actually. So Tether seems to be strong so far. Resisted its depegging attack. I think it fell like 96 cents on the dollar for a moment, but quickly it seems to be correcting. And Goldman Sachs rolls out their first Bitcoin-backed loan. At the same time, Bitcoin has been down almost 50% over the last 6 months. If we want to see Froge Finance, I wanted to point out that I noticed that the chart listed here on Coinbase is actually the right chart for FrogeX, our project. And it's been one of the strongest performers on the blockchain. And actually, if you look at Bitcoin down that much in 6 months, FrogeX is actually performing pretty well. And, really, I'd encourage you to go to FrogeX Coin Market Cap, but, or yes, Tech Tools as well. But the thing is, this token has launched this incredible new smart contract, and as a matter of disclosure as well, I have to say I've actually become a admin, and so I'm more part of this project now than I had ever really anticipated. But I am part of the team, and have helped with networking the charitable partnerships. And of course, I love covering the project, but I've got to cover it pretty matter of factly, of course, because I don't want there to be any sort of, oh gosh, come on now. Let's just go to CoinMarketCap. I don't want there to be any sort of, conflict of interest between my channel and that. But if you look at FrogeX over the 1 day here, it's 20% up on the day to be at about the 5 zeros and a 3 mark. But, if you want to look at it year to date there, we're still a bit in the red. But you could have gotten these prices at the end of January as well, even significantly lower prices. So we're looking good, holding up pretty well over the year. Over the month, it's been down with everything, actually, a crash of about 50%. But on the 7-day period, outperforming pretty much everything. I mean, outperforming Ethereum on the weekly chart right there. That's something that's important to me, and then there's some projects that I've covered on the channel before, like Shibnobi, and right now I don't know what's going on with some of the charts. Like, you look at Shibnobi, yeah, on the day it looks like it's gone up, but what's that on 7 days? Or like, what is this chart even on the monthly chart? It just is inexplicable year to date. Look at the all-time chart right now. I mean, we're just flatlined here. Is it dead? I don't know. I would be surprised if this project was dead when it has such a high market cap and everything like that. I mean, the market cap is still large enough, $44 million, that this is clearly not a dead project. Chart looks dead. If you want to look at the price of Luna, this is the sad story, and some people actually have killed themselves because of what happened to this project. It just got rug pulled, just absolutely rug pulled. And that's the thing, is that this Luna Terra deal, it's just so sad. It's so sad. And just, I have seen some evidence even in this really interesting tweet from @FrogeFriends with this video. And the dude, the animator, is just talking about what's happened, and that you can see that the owner of this project almost anticipated this. It's almost like it was kind of planned. And then you see, of course, BlackRock and Citadel deny trading to Crater, the stablecoin, but damage has been done, serious damage. And so will Do Kwon, this guy, have a plan to bring it back? And I mean, people have lost a lot here. This is not good. And so regulators are coming in, which is what the crypto community doesn't really want, but it seems ever more apparent that some kind of regulation is needed. This increases the likelihood of a central bank digital currency. I think that's what it's really all about, which is why I talk about this BlackRock Fidelity stablecoin firm, Circle, $400 million funding round. That's a big deal. That's for the US dollar coin, not just with them, but with Coinbase. And this is what Coinbase uses as their backing for your dollars on the platform. And so you can think of this as them becoming a market maker in Coinbase, which is going to create constant revenue and be a huge service. At the same time, you see a lot of this going on, like how China's zero COVID policy is tipping the world into recession, right? It's hard out here. But Shanghai suggests lockdown may end soon as pressure grows on China's zero COVID policy. And yes, that is good news if they would just release, because at the same time, a huge amount of the world's wheat supply is stuck at the ports in the Black Sea right now. And there's all of this going on, but there's going to be a huge food crisis. And in the US, you already see less food on the shelves in stores and whatnot. But when the first world suffers to that extent, people in the third world are dying. So we all need to put out our thoughts and prayers to people in the third world, people in the Ukraine as well, that are in these horrible crises and possibly starving, and pray for them to have good access to food and for the war to end so that we can have some more peace on Earth and continue to build toward space with crypto.